Hey, good morning, everybody. Hope all is well, and welcome back to the ShabinLife. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning on a Thursday. I never really thought this day was going to come, although I kept saying that we would make it happen. But we are going to put some vegetables in the garden beds today, after I basically spend the next hour or two weeding all the garden beds. Can't say that they're not lush, but now I got to go through and kind of weed everything out, get us back to the soil, and then I can start planting. I'm going to try and make the video just kind of short and sweet. I don't think that Dana and I are going to concentrate a ton on like gardening videos this season, kind of because we're halfway through the growing season. So I think maybe we'll wait till next year when we're doing seed starts and stuff like that in the house, and we're kind of amending the beds and adding compost and fertilizer. This year we're just going to basically leave the beds how they are with the fresh compost in there. I'm going to plant everything out and we'll just see how it does. Most of the things that I'm going to put in the ground have like a harvest of like maybe 65 to like 75 days, so I definitely think we have enough time left in this season to still get fruit, but we'll kind of see how we make out. Like I mentioned in the other video, one of my neighbor's friends was kind enough to pass along some peppers and some tomatoes, so we're going to put those in the ground this morning. I didn't even really get a chance to look at all the labels, so we'll kind of see together what kind of vegetables they are. And then once I can get everything cleaned up, I'll go back probably in the next few days to start direct sowing some of the seeds that we're going to try and grow for a fall crop. I also have some bare root strawberries on their way, and I also have some asparagus crowns that we're going to get into the beds over the next couple of days on their way as well. But I'm going to get in there and kind of get weeding, and then once the beds are nice and clean, we'll come back and we'll start putting some tomatoes and peppers in the ground. So stick around. Let's rock and roll, man. Okay, so after about 3.5, 4 hours, 2 pair of pants and a few shirts, the garden is weed free. And I'd say it looks pretty good, yeah? So now that all the weeds have been pulled, it is time to put some plants in the ground. I just quickly went through the vegetables that were from my neighbor's friend, most of the tomatoes, and you think those are ready to go in the ground? There's some healthy looking tomato plants, but most of those are Better Boy and Better Boy Plus, which I'm not sure I ever saw the Better Boy Plus, but rock and roll. And a couple cherry tomato plants, and then the peppers. Which are hurting for a little bit of water right now. The peppers, they look like bell pepper plants, but Red Bull, Cougar, Encore, Jupiter. I feel like I know Red Bull and the Jupiter, but the Cougar, I've never heard of, and maybe the Encore. Maybe the Encore I've heard of, but I feel like they're bell pepper plants, but we're going to put them in the ground and find out anyway. So there's about maybe 16 or 20 of each plant. I'm going to do 2 beds of tomatoes, 2 beds of peppers, and then I have some leftover stuff that I picked up down the way that I'm going to put in one of these last beds over here. But
I'm very excited. This has been a long time coming for Dana and I. You dream of having a garden, you build the garden, and now it's ready to put some vegetables in the ground. So, like I said, I don't really think we're going to do like massive garden videos this year. We'll wait till next year to do that kind of stuff. But I just figured I was excited to bring you guys along to put in the first vegetable of the year, you know. So I'm going to go down the far bed and start planting tomatoes, and I'll take you guys down there with me. So we're not going to make anything fun and crazy this year for tomatoes or peas or string beans or any of that kind of stuff. We'll sort of wait to do, you know, like poles and lines and string next year. I have a lot of tomato cages, you know, from our previous garden, so I'm just going to utilize them for this year's tomato and peppers. And basically I'm just flipping them upside down right now to just get some spacing. I probably could fit 5 tomatoes, you know, in each row, but I'm just going to put 4, leave enough space to let the air move around, and certainly plenty of bed, so I don't really have to squeeze everything into. I'm used to squeezing everything into, you know, 2 or 3 beds, so it's kind of nice to have the room. But I'm basically going to put 8 in each bed, and this is just to make sure that I keep the spacing right. So I'm going to get started, and here it goes in like 30 seconds. Ready? I'm also going to plant these really deep because obviously, you know, they've gotten a little leggy just from having to stay, you know, inside their seed cells, you know, for a little longer than they should have. So I'm going to try and put them, you know, maybe just a few inches off the bottom of the bed, pull off a bunch of leaves, and make sure it just throws out new roots. All right, so that's 16 tomato plants in. Some of them I think need some water. What do you think? All right, maybe, I'm sorry, 15 plants. And I'm going to skip a bed and then throw the peppers in, so I'll bring you guys down there. But nothing special, just digging holes and dropping in some plants. Let's get at it.